this place. Move by your Spirit in this place. Show us your way. Heal and deliver in this place. Heal and deliver in this place. Heal and deliver in this place. Show us your way. Peace, you are welcome in this place. Truth, you are welcome in this place. Love, you are welcome in this place. Show us your way.
You may be seated. Good morning to everybody online and here in the building today. We are having our last Sunday for social justice theme. You can find today's bulletin for the service either on your app or on the website. And don't forget that Fall Festival and Pumpkin Patch is coming up, and we want you to enjoy your time at the Pumpkin Patch, enjoy your time at Fall Festival, and maybe even volunteer a little bit. If you would sign up for that, you can get in touch with Jeff to do that. So let's bring ourselves fully to this time and to this place. Take a deep breath in and kind of plant yourself so that you know where you are. Now, maybe you're sitting still, like it seems like everybody in this room is mostly, but maybe you're moving around. I do some of my best meditation walking, which is why I like to have this opportunity to walk around the room. If you want to get up and walk around, you're welcome to do that. Planting yourself doesn't mean being entirely still. It means doing whatever it is that you can do to find yourself as fully alive as possible. In this moment, in this time, in this place, we want to find that kind of freedom that allows us to find ourselves and to engage with who we really are. What does it take for you to do that in your body? What's the best way for you to be in your physical self, fully acknowledging the isness of your being, celebrating yourself, and embracing whatever it is about your physical self that maybe isn't working for you, that you're not pleased with, that you're frustrated with, pain or nervousness in your body or whatever it is. Taking an opportunity to embrace that aspect of yourself while you celebrate the strength that you have is a good way to find the fullness of how you are, rather than focusing only on one or the other. The same is true about what we think about. We can really go in one direction and forget that we have lots of other thoughts in our heads. Can you celebrate the strength of your thinking, the thinking that brings you joy, that helps you to motivate? And embrace and hold close when you think about something that's hard, or maybe you're just cycling through some thoughts that are frustrating you, making you not feel good about yourself, limiting your self-esteem. Embrace the truth of whatever it is your brain is doing, whatever thoughts are coming up that are not pleasant, while you celebrate the thoughts that give you life, that enliven you. emotionally. We've got all kinds of emotions that come through us, that move our bodies, that move our minds in different directions, jumping for joy, huddled in a corner. Emotions are powerful. Can you embrace the emotions that you wish you could figure out what better to do with? How to make them be more nourished so that they aren't so heavy or chaotic or whatever it is you're experiencing. Can you use the emotions that are lifting you up, bringing you to a good place, to help embrace and comfort the emotions that aren't doing that? Same is true of our spirit. We've got aspects of our spirit where we feel like we're really connecting to something. Some of us might call it God. Some of us might call it a greater being, a higher power, or the all that is, the essence. There's so many different ways of ascribing an idea to this great mystery, this beautiful, holy love. And sometimes we feel so connected through maybe a direct connection in a private time of meditation, or through a connection that we have with somebody else. And we're like, wow, that was more than just this moment. But sometimes we feel cut off spiritually. We can't connect. We run around in circles trying to find our way, and we end up in a rut because we're in the same circle, going around and around. It's time to pause. And let whatever connection that you have lift you up out of that rut, if you're in one. Let the joy of whatever it is that you do connect with, from the most minute to the grandest, to pick you up, help you to feel your aliveness, help you connect with the fact that your body, your mind, your emotions, and your spirit are all parts of the greatness of who you are and who you have been made to be and who you will become. So as we find ourselves in our center and we connect with one another because we have chosen to be in this moment, one with another throughout time and space, really, we've chosen to co-create this beautiful moment of gathering that is sacred and holy. Let us bring ourselves fully to this time and to this place.
Please join me in our responsive call to worship. Eye has not seen, nor ear heard all the wonders of God. Our hearts hope and seek out God's wonders. Come, let us glimpse the grandeur of God together. Splendor and abundant life flow to us and from us. We sing and praise your beauty. Now let's sing together, Call to Prayer. It's number 61 in the Sing book, which you can find under your seats. Please stand as you are able in body or in heart.
Floating and flaming and filled Meet us right here, touch us right now. Searching and saving and soothing indeed, teaching and turning and taking the lead, fathering, mothering, birthing new ways. Meet us right here, touch us right now. Meet us right here, touch us right now. Calling and caring and changing each heart, loving and lifting us to a new start. Jesus, our brother, our teacher, our friend, meet us right here, touch us right now. Meet us right here, touch us right now.
You may be seated. Our biblical witness today is from 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 21 through 27. It says this, "The eye cannot say to the hand, 'I have no need of you,' nor again the head to the feet, 'I have no need of you.' On the contrary, the members of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable, and those members of the body that we think less honorable, we clothe with greater honor. And our less respectable members are treated with greater respect. Whereas our more respectable members, they just don't need this. But God has so arranged the body, giving the greater honor to the inferior member, that there may be no dissension within the body, but the members may have the same care for one another. If one member suffers, all suffer with it. If one member is honored, all rejoice with it. Now, you are the body of Christ, and individually, members of it."
Our contemporary witness today is Blood, Bread, and Poetry by Adrienne Rich, page 207. All of us here live in two dissonant worlds. There is the world of this community and others like it in America, Jewish, Gentile, men and women, black and brown and red and yellow and white, old and young, educated in books and educated in what Tilly Olson has named the College of Work, in poverty or in privilege, the communities of those who are trying to turn the century. In black activism, musician Bernice Reagan's words, "In this world of vision and struggle, there is still myopia, division, anti-Semitism, racism, sexism, heterosexism. But there is also passion and persistence and memory and the determination to build what we need and the refusal to buy safety or comfort by shutting up. We affirm the diversity out of which we come, the clashes and pain we experience in trying to work together, the unglamorous, ongoing labors of love and necessity."
So I want to begin by saying that the biblical witness that we chose today was actually lifted up by somebody in the congregation. And as hey, I've been thinking about this, and you can do that, you know. You can text me or call me or write me and say, "Hey, I saw this reading," or whether it's in the Bible or another reading, and say, "This had some meaning to me, and I was thinking about it, and I wondered if you would think about it with me," and it helps me. Because I'll constantly, if I just look for all the same things, you're going to sometimes get all the same things. So if you give me some input, it gives me an opportunity to think about things in a different way. The other thing that I want to say before I begin is that this week I had the opportunity to go to a clergy reception at Hope Center which is by 1960 and 45. And they're a day center for homeless folks. And they call their homeless folks their friends. And they provide opportunities for people to be online. They've got computers there so that people can look for jobs or connect with their family on Facebook. They give them 2 meals, Monday through Friday. That's all the volunteer staff they have available right now. And this was happenstance. I had already selected these readings weeks ago, but when I thought about this opportunity and the conversations that we had about Hope Center and what they do, it fit right in with this idea of the lesser members and the greater members and who gets more respect and who gets less respect. So I want you to know that these are the things that I'm holding in my heart as I'm preparing what I'm writing. This is my own personal context from which this comes from. So Paul writes to the Corinthians using this human body as a symbol of the body of Christ. The body of Christ being the community of those who follow the teachings of Jesus. Paul cites the many differences in our bodies and talks about how there are respectable members of our bodies and less respectable members of our bodies. What does he mean by that? There are parts of our bodies which we are more casual about than other parts. The parts of our bodies which we're less casual about, we clothe with greater honor and treat with greater respect. I am very casual about my hands and my arms. I don't mind showing those off at all. There are parts of my body that I'm very careful about saying, I want this part of my body to be covered. Isn't that true? And you know what? If somebody has a very scarred hand, it might be their hand that they want covered up. You never know what part of somebody's body they're like, I am not casual about that at all. So this is a part of what he's using as a symbol, identifying within us what we already understand, what we know and what we can relate to. We might also say that there are parts of our bodies that we're proud of, parts of our bodies that we're not proud of. That may or may not have anything to do with the casualness or carefulness with which we present any specific body part at any given time. But we have lots of opinions about bodies and about our own and about others. I'm not sure how much thought Paul gave to using this analogy, but it can go in so many different directions. So I'm thinking about it in terms of social justice. This is what drew me to the reading today by Adrienne Rich. She talks about the various members of our community body. She lists attributes of that body: race, gender, religion, economic status, education, age, family makeup, and other things. We use terms like marginalized to refer to members of our community who are the least powerful, those who don't have much money or none at all, those who are not white, not straight. And as Christians, we may not realize the privilege that we have of our religion. And we might take for granted the calendars that we use, for instance, that are geared toward our holidays. I was at a spring Interfaith Council meeting where we are talking about doing an Interfaith Thanksgiving again. Isn't that exciting for those of you who have been around a while? We haven't had an Interfaith Thanksgiving. And so we're really pumped up about it. And so we went around the table and said, why? Why would we do interfaith? Why would we do a Thanksgiving service together? And I was talking about how Thanksgiving is kind of a non-religious holiday. And I said, maybe we could do a New Year's interfaith. I said, but then we'd have to decide whose New Year's. Because our New Year's is pretty much slated as a Christian New Year's, if you think about it. The Jewish New Year's is coming up not too far from now, the Muslim New Year. I mean, there's just all these different places where there's New Year's celebration. Even in the life of the church, in a sense, the Pentecost is our new year in our church season in some ways. So whose new year would we celebrate? Anyway, all that aside, we forget our privilege. We forget the power that we have and the ways that we have it. But you never tend to forget where you're marginalized. That's always pointed out to you in day-to-day living. According to Paul, folks who are marginalized should receive greater respect and given greater honor. But the opposite ends up being true. Marginalized peoples receive less respect and honor according to the designs of our status quo. Now, earlier I said that there are parts of our bodies that we are more casual about than other parts. That's true in our communities that we live in. Who gets treated more casually? Who is offered greater respect? Have you ever done the Sidewalk Test? I don't know if you ever walk in a place where there's lots of people, but depending on who you are, for instance, a tall white man commands more respect on the sidewalk. And you may or may not, if you're not a tall white man or a white man at all, realize that you're getting out of their way. So when I lived in Chicago, I started noticing the dynamics on the sidewalk. Who got the privilege of paying no attention to who was walking on the sidewalk. And so when I saw a possible encounter where I was going to have to move, I would stop. I didn't not move while I was walking. I just stopped to see what would happen. I got bumped into a lot. I got given funny looks, too, like, why would you do that? Well, if you were paying any attention to me, you would have known I was there, and it wouldn't be a big deal. Try the sidewalk test. See who you have to move out of the way for. See who moves out of the way for you. It's just an interesting way of examining our power, our privilege, and where we are asked to be subservient. Let's see, where am I? So, yes, this is the opposite of what Paul would have taught us about how we're supposed to act, who we're supposed to move out of the way for, who we're supposed to give greater honor to. His teaching to the people in Corinth was an attempt to turn their hearts and minds around from the customary way of approaching people. Now, his context in this portion of the letter is concerning things like spiritual gifts, but we can apply the same approach to all aspects of our humanity. But spiritual gifts in the church, let's say I have a spiritual gift of preaching. I hope I have a little bit of that. That was given more honor, whereas it should have been given less and more honor given to someone with a spiritual gift that might not have been so publicly presented. And so that's why this can apply in so many different ways. In the church, we're to treat with greater honor and respect those who have the least and are rendered invisible because of lack of power. This is what Jesus meant when he talked about the least of these. He wasn't talking about the intrinsic worth of anyone, because in our understanding of creation, all are made in the image of God. Jesus was talking about how we value each other and what we base that value on. The use of our bodies as symbols reminds us in many ways that we can't choose the bodies we have. We can make some adaptations through the use of exercise, surgery, but basically, what we're born with or what happens with us throughout life is what we end up with. Our church community body is different, though. We get to make choices. We may not be able to choose everybody who walks through the door, but we continue to make a choice about interacting, about staying, about community, about relationship. We choose each other. We get to choose what we share about ourselves with each other. If it was up to me, no matter where any of us would go, we would choose each other, and we would be treated with respect and honor. There would be no one relegated to the status of least of these, because there would be no status. and understanding that we are all made of that same intrinsic worth. That's not the world we live in. So what can we do about it? First, we can get busy figuring out ways to bring fairness, equality, inclusion, and celebration for all people through our laws and policies. This is important work, and we can do it at lots of levels. You can go vote. You can run for office. You can do something in between. We can protest harmful workplaces by boycotting. We can resist toxic family dynamics by creating new families. There's lots of opportunities for action. I also want to lift up another opportunity, a daily opportunity of uniting our lives by choosing each other as community. The last sentence of the selection by Adrian Rich says this: "We affirm the diversity out of which we come." We affirm it. We aren't afraid of it. We don't say, oh, we don't see difference. We affirm it. We're excited about it. We celebrate the diversity out of which we come. The clashes and the pain we experience in trying to work together, we affirm that too. That was hard. We're so different. I don't know how you came to that conclusion. I'd like to know more. I'd like to know more is a way of saying, I affirm this clash, and I'd like to get to figure it out. We affirm the unglamorous, ongoing labors of love and necessity. Oh, it's fun to affirm the glamorous stuff. What if we affirmed the unglamorous stuff? In our church life, our goal is that this way of being together is second nature. At its core, we can hear the teaching of Paul to the Corinthians, as well as Jesus' teaching about how to treat each other who have been disrespected and treated with lesser honor, even though they're made in that same image of God, as those who have great wealth, great power. We have united by our choice to be united. When we enact honor and respect for each other, we're celebrating our bonds of love in diversity through our challenges and our triumphs. It's as though our choice for each other. In that way, we resist the status quo, which values and devalues according to this kind of arbitrary measure of rank. In this way, we build each other up. We clothe each other with honor and respect. Every person in this community, member, visitor, longtime attender, brand new, shiny, happenstance attender, or every weeker is made of the same holy substance and sacred essence. Whatever our circumstances, when we live by this core value and nourish each other by building up our relationships, we unite through celebrating our diversity. When we acknowledge our hardships, whether it's out in the world or even maybe sometimes acknowledging our hardships that we have right here, we give ourselves opportunity to strengthen our relationships. Whether we're experiencing the shine and sparkle of the Spirit among us or just happening to get through every day together, we choose to unite our hearts and be one body. This is the foundation of our faith and our ministry and the way that we will make a difference in the world. Laws and policies will become more inclusive. I decided that because I believe it. I'm confident that we can move our laws and policies to be more inclusive. We can make a difference in how we are, who we are, and what we say and where we say it, and all of those decisions that we make. This is going to happen because of who we are. Our teachings say they'll know that we're Christians by the love that we have for one another. When we model in our daily life that every member, every part of the body deserves honor and respect, we're showing that we love one another, but we're doing something else. We're praying with our bodies. We're praying with our thoughts, with our hearts, with our words, and with every action that we take. Every act, every gesture, as we relate to each other, can be a prayer for our future, because everything we do and say to each other is our choice to clothe each other gently and lovingly. With that, my friends, peace.
In the midst of pain, I choose love. In the midst of pain, I choose love. In the midst of pain, sorrow falling down like rain, I will wait the sun again. I choose love. I choose love. In the midst of war, I choose peace. In the midst of war, I choose peace. In the midst of war, hate and anger keeping score, I will seek the good once more. I choose peace. I choose peace. When my world falls down, I will rise. When my world falls down, I will rise. When my world falls down, explanations can't be found. I will climb to holy ground. I will rise. I will rise. In the midst of pain, I choose love. In the midst of pain, I choose love. In the midst of pain, sorrow falling down like rain, I await the sun again. I choose love. I choose love.
Would you join your hearts with mine in prayer? Holy love, we want to make good choices. We want to bring close to us the core values that you've expressed. We want to imagine that we are a part of this momentum over generations and generations of making better choices in this world. And as we imagine over the course of history that we are entering into the flow of something that has been happening and that we are planning future generations to be able to flow in as well. And we ask that you help us in our choices. Help us to rise again when we fall down. Help us to see the light and to look for it when it's dark and we don't know where we can look next. Help us to choose each other and to see the truth of respect and honor being given to those that have been tossed aside, cast away, rendered invisible and voiceless. and help us to honor our own experience when that has happened to us, and to rise, to choose a little bit at a time, to take that forward step, to be a part of the momentum of the generations and generations that have gathered in your way, to lift up, to free the captives, to proclaim liberty, to feed the poor, to help those without a home have a place to live, those without water to have clean water to drink. All of that generationally, that momentum that we have chosen to enter into, help it to be our experience, and for us to take another step closer to our own healing individually, to our healing as a body, a community body, and to assess where we do have privilege and voice, and to leverage it with love and grace and gentleness. We're counting on you, God, to give us the guidance, to give us your Spirit's impulse, to help us to turn a corner, however minutely or greatly it needs to be turned, so that we can help to shape the now and the future, so that everybody is clothed beautifully, so that everybody has the respect that they deserve innately, and so that you show up in every place through our grace and our mercy. Because we choose to do all of this as a ministry together, let us lift up our voices in these words of prayer, saying, higher power, here with me now. Humbly I seek your grace. All in your care, your will be done, through me as it is through others. Give me today hope and courage to forgive all past transgressions as I surrender my fears and resentments. Strengthen me against temptation, but free me to let go of control. Fill my spirit with calm and compassion and clarity to carry to others. Amen.
Each week we collect 2 offerings. One is for the church, which goes into our general fund for the running of the church and our ministries. The second is the loose offering, which is sent to a designated charity, which changes each week. If you brought your offering in person today, you're welcome to drop it in the offering box in the back. It's the glass church near the doors to the narthex. Our loose offering for today will go to Sedegast Heights Turkey Fund. Sedegast Heights Apartments is a 200-unit multifamily residence facility that was created by the Houston Association of the United Church of Christ in the 1970s for low-income families. We collect money for HEB gift cards that will be used to help ease the stress of the holiday season for our Sedegast neighbors at Thanksgiving. If you would like to give to our general fund, to the loose offering, or to both, you can use bill pay from your bank, send us a check, use the Plymouth app, or use PushPay, according to the directions on your screen. And as always, thank you for supporting Plymouth and the ministries of the loose offering. Please join me in our responsive offertory prayer. With willing hearts, we give you these gifts. Bless our time to be spent where we need to spend it. Lead us towards the needs of others. Let's sing together, I Need You to Survive, from Sing number 184, which you can find under your seats.
Now, before we start singing, as Marshall plays to get us acclimated to the music, this song isn't one that we know very well. It's one we've heard. It's a song about our interdependence on each other. I want to say that I know how awkward it is to sing a new song, and how congregationally we might be like, I don't know if I should sing or not because I don't know the right notes. I don't care. I don't care if you know the right notes or the right rhythm. Next month, we're going to celebrate Hispanic heritage, and we're going to sing all kinds of songs that you've not heard before. So let's get comfortable with messy church. Let's get comfortable with messy music. And more than figuring out how to sing it or focusing on what we don't know, I want to encourage you to think about the message and just allow the music to move you.
I need you, you need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me, come be with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is God's will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. You are important to me. I need you to survive. Same thing again. I need you. You need me. We are a part of God's body. Stand with me, come be with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is God's will that every need be supplied. You're important to me. I need you to survive. You are important to me. I need you to survive. I'll pray for you. You pray for me. I love you. I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you. I need you to survive. I'll pray for you. You pray for me. I love you. I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you. I need you to survive. It is God's will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. You are important to me. I need you to survive.
And now, my friends, it is time to go from this moment to whatever it is you have next. Hopefully, it'll include fellowship at the end of the service, and we can sit over there and talk to one another and get to know each other better. And then after that, I don't know what happens in your life and what you're managing, but I want you to imagine right now that whatever it is that feels like it has the least amount of respect and honor, that through this whole service and through the love we have for one another and through these words, you find yourself gently being clothed, gently being embraced, being inspired and uplifted, because that which might be deemed not casual means that we give it extra attention and extra love, and we speak to it with extra kindness. So go forth knowing that God, the Holy Spirit, the Creator and holy love swirls and whirls around you to clothe you, to respect you, and to give you that great honor, and walk as best as you can with your back straight and your chin up. And if you don't walk and you use something that has wheels, roll through the world with your chin up, or whatever it is that says, I am made in God's image, and I deserve all the respect and honor in this world. Go forth, my friends, in peace and as peacemakers.